Welcome to our second virtual Health Buzz. This is just one of many new communication tools that have been initiated as we continue this journey to success. I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating. I am so appreciative of your commitment and genuine interest in the transformation plan and this entire process. The level of participation in the change management training over the last 7 weeks has been amazing. Over 784 staff of public health across every level and program area have been engaged in ensuring that not only will the vision of being the best health department in the nation become a reality, it will happen in an environment that is enjoyable and supportive for all staff. In the near future, as part of our continuous improvement, we will be introducing a feedback process. Through this effort, I will work with the executive team to answer your questions and address the issues that are important to you. Until then, through this virtual Health Buzz, let me begin to address some of the consistent questions that have come up often as we approach the end of the change management training. So what's next? How do we keep this momentum going? How do we incorporate learning points and takeaways into our daily work? How do we demonstrate the universal standards? How do we connect with other departments? You get the idea. As you can see, we are about a third of the way there on our roadmap to success. We are on the path of building a strong infrastructure for the department. With overwhelming positive comments from the training, we, and I mean all of us, senior leaders, supervisors, management, all staff, those who work in the field, those who work in one of our office locations, from schools to clinics, from internal to external, we all need to keep moving together forward. We have shifted gears into optimism, transparency, and revitalization, and we will not slow down or be diverted. In addition, we must all recognize that there is no end to this work. We must continue to learn and grow as a department if we are going to address the changing needs of our customers, and that includes each other. Speaking of transparency, in our last virtual town hall, I discussed how important it was for staff concerns to be heard and addressed appropriately, and that an important foundation for our new service culture is trust. The results of the Diversity and Inclusion Survey and the Employee Climate Survey have been released, so I'm going to start now by sharing some of the specific department survey data. You will hear more from your Assistant Health Director, from your managers and supervisors. We will continue to incorporate this and all employee feedback into the ongoing development of the organization. Your input will continue to form the basis of everything we do going forward. So let's look at the results, starting with the Diversity and Inclusion Survey. At an individual level, the majority of respondents were in agreement on importance, competency, and understanding. With agreement ranges from 80% to 99%, most employees of public health agreed with statements such as, "In my workplace, I feel competent in my interactions with people of different races, genders, disabilities, sexual orientations, and ages." At the department level, agreement dipped to 50 to 75% around communication, support, and work groups, with large percentages of employees being not sure or unaware of the work that's happening. An example of this type of question is, "My department provides the resources necessary to advance racial equity," where about 27% of respondents answered, "I don't know." Overall, while a high percentage feel that progress has been made, employees are unaware of the details of some of the initiatives. For example, one question, "As a whole, my department is making progress towards achieving racial equity." The highest percentage of respondents following agreement were in the "I don't know" category. This is a county-wide concern for all departments, and we are working with the county DEI efforts to address this. We are so grateful that public health is so engaged. When we look at this report, the public health department had the most responses out of the whole county. Then, out of the 120 county staff selected for focus groups, we had the highest participation. On top of that, within the core team of 40 for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council, the health department has the most representatives with 5 members. You are ensuring that public health is a strong voice within the county. This is an example of a model to support our efforts to communicate effectively about DEI. We will affirm, counter, and transform. I know that we have a department of very committed staff who want to see everyone in our community succeed and live their healthiest life possible. That's the affirmation. The county has started an equity and inclusion initiative, and the next phase focuses on training mid-senior level managers. Additionally, as mentioned, the county has identified 40 staff from all departments to begin identifying policies, procedures, and practices that we can improve to achieve better outcomes for everyone we serve. This work will take place through December 2018. In 2019, we will begin training for all staff. As I stated, our overall response to the survey was positive. The counter is that we still have room for improvement. I know that many of you are feeling a sense of urgency to get started. The county's consultants for this work, the Government Alliance on Race and Equity, have several resources to support you in the interim. There are toolkits, communication tools, and other resources available at www.racialequityalliance.org. That will be the transformation. I encourage you to access these resources and bring them into the conversations at weekly and monthly meetings. We will all be developing our action plans to confidently change the public health response from I don't know to strongly agree. And now to the Employee Climate Survey. Great news. The results of the 3-year comparison show that we are absolutely moving in the right direction. Of the 36 questions asked of the department, 19 are trending up. That's 53%. And positive gains were generally related to feelings of value and respect. The highest agreement since the 2017 survey were, the work I do is important. That was 100% of the responses. My supervisor annually assesses progress on my individual development plan. My supervisor treats me with respect. My coworkers are willing to assist each other, and my coworkers are respectful of each other. But we also had strong gains on lots of other questions, such as my supervisor encourages an open exchange of ideas and encourages creative thinking. We are definitely moving upwards and onwards, but we still have work to do. We have 6 that are trending down. That's about 16% of the questions. And negative gains were generally related to feelings of security and technology. The lowest agreement since the 2017 survey were, overall, I feel secure at my workplace after regular business hours. My workload is reasonable. The technology I use on the job is reliable. Overall, I feel secure going to my vehicle after regular business hours, and the Board of County Commissioners values county employees. These really haven't changed much since last year and still fall in an area where there's much room for improvement. We will be working with the county on these, especially around communication and expressing value. We also had 11 that are neutral or fluctuating 1% or less. That's about 31% of the questions. These are not sliding backwards, but not moving forward, so worth our attention. Neutral items were generally related to organizational culture and communication. They include that my supervisor acknowledges my achievements. Overall, I am satisfied with the security, personnel presence at the facility where I work. I would recommend Mecklenburg County to others as a good place to work. My supervisor provides timely feedback about my performance, and I am able to openly communicate concerns to my supervisor. Again, these are worth our attention, although they have not changed significantly since last year. So how are we addressing these recent results? Some are similar to what we heard 5 months ago from you in the culture survey and now in the diversity and inclusion and employee climate surveys. So we will continue to customize the next steps in our change management process to drive the following in response to your continued feedback. They include increasing sense of trust and transparency, increasing knowledge and skill sets around diversity and inclusion, providing manager and supervisor training, increasing consistency of communication and clarity of messaging, increasing sense of one team and knowledge across departments, increasing accountability for behavior regardless of role or department, increasing demonstrations of appreciation and value, even peer-to-peer, increasing consistency of policies or standards across the organization, ensuring that the culture supports feedback and ideas and suggestions from staff, and planning for the future regarding succession planning. This is all based on your feedback. With a total of 573 staff, supervisors, managers, and executive leaders who lent their voices to work with Moran Consulting to design training programs. With your high participation rate in the diversity and inclusion process, we are redefining our relationships with each other, our work environment, and our relationship with the community we are privileged to serve. Amazing. It is this kind of dedication that will propel us to be the best in the nation. It is all of us coming together. And I have to tell you, well done. We started to equip leaders with tools to ensure their staff's success and had 4 days of service essential for leaders with 104 participants. That's a whopping 100% participation rate. We then had 23 days of public health service essentials for everyone with 785 participants. This was a customized training for all staff with a focus on building trust and interpersonal relationships, problem solving through collaboration, and promoting success and confidence of all staff. We had high ratings and even higher engagement. These quotes from participants are just a sample from the over 361 people who have completed the evaluations. We had Bob, Gloria, Nikki, Donna, Frank, Chimera, and Cynthia as our trainers, and here's what they said about you. Amazing. They used that word over and over. We also rolled out the Universal Standards, developed from your feedback. This is a tool to unite us all in clarifying expectations, in collaborating and communicating with each other and with our community. These will soon be visible on posters in every building, laminated cards for desks and bulletin boards, and even on our website. With your participation, we will be developing activities around incorporating the standards into our daily work. These standards are the foundation of our new service culture. Your time, your commitment, your expertise, and your enthusiasm got us here on our roadmap for success. So let's get into the what's next. How do we live into the standards? One of our staff work groups came up with our pact to signify the pact we have with each other and as a constant reminder that we need everyone engaged in demonstrating the standards for us to truly change the culture. We also have a new executive leadership team with Tisha Boyd, Assistant Health Director for Clinical Services, and Dr. Meg Sullivan joining Cardra Burns, Tamika Green, Jana Harrison, and Rod Smith. I want to welcome the newcomers into our new culture and build a strong and effective team to lead the organization. So we have 3 strategy sessions for the team planned around trust, productive conflict, demonstrated commitment, being and upholding accountability, and a focus on results. They start next week. All leaders, executives, managers, and supervisors will come together starting in early August to focus on supporting staff and implementing new communication and feedback systems aligned with our new service culture. Divisions will be mixed to ensure that we are working together and consistently across the organization. They will then meet with all their staff to start developing divisional FAQs, brainstorm new recognition programs, and start process improvement teams. To further support you and our new culture, we have a customized reinforcement system being designed to be incorporated into regular meeting structures. We will openly discuss issues that will be affecting your work environment. We will update frequently, and we will share information all in your regular team meetings. We will be role-playing, dialoguing, brainstorming, and recognizing efforts. We will all be a part of supporting and driving the workplace culture that we want and need to better serve our community. Let's not forget that what we are constructing together will not end. We are planning for those who will follow us and for the future of public health in Mecklenburg County. The succession planning process has begun. We are working with staff advisory groups to develop and refine career ladders and lattices. We want staff to be able to visualize career paths and be able to plan for the skills needed and the critical experience required to reach the next level with public health if they wish. Each of you is important to our future. So let me close with more quotes and photos from the recent Service Essentials training. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, and there will be challenges along the way. You can be assured of that. The resilience, strength, and compassion that you have all shown over this last year, combined with your expertise and dedication to public health, shows the county, the public, and our entire community what the staff of public health can do. Thank you for that. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My door is always open.